marketplace. Oh, really? Yeah, really? That's the dirt off my shoulders. Really?
Mississippi Valley.
Yeah, really? I get hungry when it's colder. Really?
How come they do this?
Yeah, really? You ain't gotta worry about mine.
I think like you guys need to see this.
Yeah, really? What you gotta say about me? Really?
Hi everybody, it's been forever. I know, it's your host, Jonnie Kae. This is the And Now We Know show. I'm here again doing interviews and I have so many talented guests for you this season. Of course, I have engineers, models, lots of independent artists. Today we are going to have somebody come through. He's a very special guest. I can't wait to interview him. So let me introduce him. We're going to go ahead and bring him on up. Thank you for coming on. Happy to have you.
Oh, blessings.
I have so much to talk to you about. We have to get to know you. I was on his show, Phone Podcast, so I definitely, had to have him on the And Now We Know show and talk to him with you guys. He's an award-winning engineer. This is just not any engineer over here. He is a very accomplished, established engineer within the industry. So I want to talk to you about that. When did you first discover that you were even good at music?
Well, first it started off. I actually used to draw first. I used to
Really?
sketch. I used to draw. That was kind of like how I gathered friends. How I kind of got acquainted with just people. But drawing only does so much in terms of expression. So music, I got into music because it was just my way of just saying what I wanted to say. You know what I mean? And I actually started off rapping.
Wow.
Then from rapping it got to just music. I was tired of producers not supplying beats, and then I learned how to make beats. And then I was tired of engineers, being too tired to record, or they charge too much or whatnot. So I learned how to actually engineer myself.
Wow.
And it just turned into this spitball of just so many creative things that I learned how to do. But I just really fell in love with just the producing side of it and the engineering. So, and here I am, over, I would say about 16, 17 years of professional work. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. It's interesting that a lot of people, it seems like they started off in their profession because they were frustrated basically with other people in the industry or, just other engineers to record them and getting tired of not having the right beats that they wanted or whatever, so that they end up doing it themselves.
Yeah, it's a real motivator. It's a real motivator when you're trying to get something done, but you don't, the people that you're working with, you want them to understand what you're doing, but everybody's not going to. But then it just motivates you to do it yourself. And even for me, when I started that, I started to learn how to do it with the intention of I want to know enough to where when I do have the money to pay for it, I know exactly what I want. And then I ended up just falling in love with the structure of it. And then I stopped rapping, started producing, and started engineering. So for everybody else, it's like, I tell them all the time, like, you never know those one or two things that you're learning just to try to get by that might end up paying you the most amount of money in your career. You never know. You know what I mean? If you would have asked me when I was young and aspiring to rap that I would be a producer and an engineer and it would take me further in my career than rapping, I would be telling you that you was lying. But things is different.
Interesting how it paved out for you.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. What would you say is the moment that you were like, I'm going to take a step back from rap right now and just go with this bag right here?
Well, what I used to do, I used to have like a couple of rappers I used to rap with. Our crew was called Paladoni. That was an old crew, but it was between me and one of my good friends, Don, and we started rapping. But we would also make beats as well. I taught myself how to make beats, and I taught him how to make beats. And over the course of working and doing things, I found myself behind the boards more. Nobody could really record like I could. So I would be recording, then I would supply the music, and then I fell in love with just recording people, singers, rappers, violinists, and I love that element of it more than anything else. So I would rap less and produce and engineer more. And then it just got to a point where it was like, you know what, I can tell my story through music, through instrumentation, through production, and through other artists, you know what I mean? So I just stuck with that.
Wow. That's incredible. I mean, that's an incredible story of how you reached to this point. And I think a lot of people out there kind of might be struggling with that decision themselves. Like, they might be getting more money making beats, or they might be getting more money doing something other than maybe something that they started off as.
Right.
And so it's always good to hear what somebody else did.
Yeah.
And it worked out for you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just me being an engineer. It's funny because, I was talking to one of my colleagues the other day, and he was asking me just, over my years of engineering, and he asked me, what are the moments that you partake in that makes you feel like you're a successful engineer? And, I thought about it for a minute, and then I told him, I said, it's the times where you're recording artists that are not up to par. Like the not so good artists. And what I mean by that is as an engineer, you have a sound, you have a particular sound that you want to, bring forth, whether it's cleaning up somebody's record, whether it's bringing the soul of it to life. And when you're working with great artists, you get a handicap of they're great at what they do, so it's not so much for you to do. But the real great engineers are the ones who work with the artists that are not so great, because our job becomes make them dope no matter what. Doesn't matter.
Interesting.
Make them great. And I think those moments are the moments for me that explains the essence of why my career is the way it is. It's because I went from, when I started engineering, I would just record everybody. I would just you want to record? Let's get it. I had a studio in my house. I had a 48-track mixing board in my room. You know what I mean? It was just weird how much music I would do. But I always learned new effects and new plugins. I always learned it because someone with the lack thereof, they might not, they might have to punch so much. So I would learn a different effect to help that. Learn how to punch in. Or a singer doesn't know how to hit notes well, so I got to do pitch correction, put them in the right pocket. But all of those things helped me be a better engineer. So when it was time to get busy to work with, Busta Rhymes, Tech Nine, Kendrick Lamar, West Side Gun, I can, Faith Evans, I know how to get right to it easy. You know what I mean? So those are the moments that make it all worthwhile.
Wow, you guys, that's some good tips right here, because some people, they kind of feel down about they're not recording the biggest artist or something right now. But those moments, and when you're recording those people, take in those experiences and those lessons that you're getting, because it could help you in the long run when you are in front of Faith Evans or Busta Rhymes or something.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So just take everything in. Don't look at anything as small. That's what I feel like. That's what I took from what you just said.
Definitely.
For sure.
Everything, something so small can mean so much in the future. You know what I mean? Take it all with stride and just go for it. Go for it. And we need more engineers out here. That's doing their thing. We need a lot more of them. You know what I mean? Especially producers. We need more female engineers. We need more female producers. You know what I'm saying? Because they got a great ear as well. So, I'm all for the behind the boards movement. That's what I call it. It's just like those who are behind the boards making the magic happen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all for that. So if that's what you're doing, yo, salute you.
Yeah.
Y'all know where to find me.
He's definitely created magic with me. We got
Yes.
and we got more magic coming out. You guys,
Yes.
stay tuned. Of course, I'll put all the links and everything.
Yes. Her vibe is crazy. Yo. Vibe is phenomenal.
Oh, thank you. His work is incredible, and I'm not just saying that like it's incredible. He's incredible. He knows how to take he knows how to take something from like just nothing to incredible. He's a genius.
Thank you.
Musical genius. So on your Instagram, when you go on your Instagram, I like the fact that you have a lot of pictures of family. Like you're a family man, and I really love that. And I think like there's some people in the industry that kind of struggle with how to be a father and do their job.
Right.
And you seem to do that really well because your children are very well behaved. They're super extremely smart. So how do you do that? How are you a good father and this incredible engineer?
Well, first, shout out to my superheroes, Makai and Zaire. I know they're at home playing
Shout
games
out
and
to
doing
you
their
guys.
homework. But I love you guys.
They're so cute.
I think I'm good at being a father and balance in my career because at one point in time I was horrible at it. Like at one point in time, and and I'm pretty sure people can identify with, being a creative. You want to chase your dreams. You want to do what you need to do. And, selfishly, we have that element, a part of us. And then there's the other half of it where it's like, we know that if we can do what we love to do, eventually it'll benefit your family. The bad part of that is sometimes you just don't have it. Like for me, I was a bad father because I didn't have it. Not because I didn't want to do anything, but I just didn't have it. I was really trying to chase being in the industry and be able to create a career that I could feed my family with. And, went through turmoil, for about a year or two when my first son was born. And then when my second son was born, it just clicked in my brain. It was like, I can no longer say I have to go get this career, this right, before I can do the right things. You have to make it coexist. You have to still be there as a parent, and your kids are watching. Like the same way they watch superheroes, like they look at you as a superhero. And one of my number one things that I wanted to do in my career was I wanted to tell my kids that whatever you want to do, you can do. Now, I know people say that as a cliche, but when you're a parent that's actually doing what you desire to do since you were 6 years old, and you're able to fundamentally raise them and still financially take care of them, that's the biggest lesson I could ever show them. Is not to say that you can be anything you want to be because your third grade teacher said it. It's like, no, you can do that because my kids, when they wake up in their beds, they wake up to my plaque above them. You know what I mean? We luckily, by the grace of God, we did Teach Me How to Dougie, Cali Swag District. We did our thing, got bread. But I put those plaques above their headboard. One of them, the gold, my oldest son, he has the gold one. And then my youngest son, he has the platinum one because they were born around the times where we went gold and we went platinum. And they can see every day, daddy did that. So, and I can do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So in our house, we have a wall of workload. I put their paintings up there. I put there's certificates of, good work and, honor roll stuff. I put all of that stuff on the wall so they know, no, you can really do what you say you want to do. And I think just the lack of not having taught me how to be able to balance. And even on my YouTube, we have a series called Two Superheroes, One King, which is my two superheroes. And
Right.
King.
You guys make sure you watch that.
Make
I'm
sure
going
you
to
go
put links
watch
to
that.
his YouTube channel.
And it's just us having fun. You know what I mean? It's just us having fun. You know, we eating cereal, judging cereal. You know, talking about like we just dropped a video. It's 3 things that my parent that I hate when my parents say. So they tell me 3 things that they hate that I say. And then it's another video where it's 3 things we hate that kids say. So I tell them the 3 things that I don't like that they say. And just being able to give them a voice, and we just having a good time and having fun. You know what I mean? But be into your family. Be into your family. That's important.
That's so cute. I love it. I love that. And I know there's a lot of people out there that need to hear that because, you know, they're kind of struggling because, you know, music is kind of, it's like, it sucks you in so much and it just takes over your whole life and then you forget, you know, you need to interact with people.
Yeah. Interaction is big. Like, you know, we still human. You know what I'm saying? And our music, we draw from human experience.
Exactly.
So you got to indulge.
You need that experience.
And I know, man, I know it's hard when people say, like, look, like, I got to go work a regular job. I got to go do my thing. Like, do all of that. Do whatever you need to do to take care of your family. But treat your goals as a creative just as important as you treat the paycheck you get every 2 weeks. Like, treat that just as important because we need that. The pandemic showed us, you know, to the utmost, like, if you don't have a skill or something that you really love, it's hard. Like, when the club shut down, the restaurant shut down, parks and gyms shut down. Like, who are you as a person, as a soul? Who are you? Like, that's the question you ask yourself. And that's what those things that you love to do, that's what it answers, is who you really are when you take away all this superficial other stuff away, you know?
Right, definitely. So I want to also, I want to get into your podcast and how did you get that started and what can we expect from phone debates in the future?
Yeah, well, I have 2 podcasts. So the first one, I want to talk about the first one first because it's relative to me doing phone debates. So my first podcast is the Poly Rob podcast. And what that is it's a podcast that just talks about the balance, like we talked about, the balance between, you know, being a family man, being a father, and music. So I have episodes that, you know, how to run a recording studio. Then I got an episode talking about hip-hop daddies. Like, I'm a hip-hop daddy. So, and what I mean by that is, just on the surface level is, you know, I grew up in hip-hop, loving hip-hop. My kids grew up loving hip-hop. And we creatively do things similar. So, like an artist that they like, I would like them as well. And we get to have conversations on fashion, clothes, music, and everything. So, you know, I identify, out of all the generations that come before me, I identify with my kids even more. So, you know, I'm a hip-hop parent, you know what I mean? So, I talk about that. I talk about, like, I have, like, topics talking about, like, your diet while you're doing music, you know, because that's important, you know what I mean?
Right.
We sometimes eat trashy because we're in the studio 2 o'clock in the morning trying to figure it out. You know, I talk about publishing, just anything that has to do with walking yourself down the road of being great as a creative and being able to balance that with regular life, because I feel like sometimes the problem with a lot of the media that we see is it doesn't come from the people who really doing it. Like, you know, a lot of people be asking, you know, they ask rappers and they ask producers, like, you know, what's the story of this beef or why did this happen? When actual reality, like, the engineer is the one that's been in the session the whole time. He can tell you exactly what's really going on.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
you just ask the engineer.
Ask the engineer. He'll tell you everything.
He
if
was
you really
right
want to know
there.
the truth, he's not biased to nobody.
But people forget about that.
Right.
I mean, only the smart ones.
Right. So I talk about that. You know, I talk about so many different elements of that. And then for phone debates, it's like an extension of a little bit of that. But what I do is I talk to people that I know, that I respect, I care about, and we just have an actual phone conversation, just talking about the things that we talk about. Like, you can only imagine the stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about all kinds of stuff on your show. It was dope. It was a fun time. I had fun on there. Yeah. So, okay. What can we expect from you this year? 2021 is a big year. I know you got stuff for me, of course.
Of course. Workload. Let's go.
Exactly.
Yes.
What can we expect from you? We want to know.
We have a slew of different projects that we're releasing. I have a project with artists by the name of TF. That's actually releasing on April 30th. Then I have a project with Noah James, working on another project with Planet Asia, Hus Kingpin. I'm doing a joint venture producer EP with my boy Day One. Doing some new records for Raekwon. Doing some joints for Conway the Machine.
Okay.
It's a whole bunch going on. Oh, and Tech Nine, I got to do some more records for him.
Okay.
And then Jill Scott's coming up pretty soon. She's working on it. So,
Whoa. Exclusive.
workload.
Okay. I love it. Oh my gosh. So, okay. Let them know where we can find all of this. Can you let them know your website, your social media, your YouTube channel?
Mm-hmm. So first things first, shout out to my company, Local Astronauts. So just look, Local Astronauts spelled correctly. You can find everything there. And then also my Instagram is Yo Poly Rob What Up, which is YOPOLYROBWHATUP. I know it's long, but bear with me. And then just look up Poly Rob, POLYROB on YouTube, Google, and you'll figure out everything. And make sure you go check out my YouTube channel because I'm making beats constantly. I make 8 or 9 beats every day. And you can watch on my YouTube channel and see me cook up. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's what's up. So yeah, you guys make sure you do that right now. After you finish watching this, go click the link in the description box. All of that information is also down there. If you need to get in contact with me, my information is down there too. And if you want to interview or whatever, we can contact this email down below. Somebody from my team will get back to you. And I appreciate you guys for watching another episode. Now we know Poly Rob, a platinum engineer, just out here getting money, being a father at the same time, making podcasts. Oh, I forgot, you're a chef.
Oh yeah, Sunday dinner.
Yeah, he's a chef too. You
Sunday
know,
dinner.
you just gotta tune in for his podcast, and you'll find out more about him.
You gotta put up the Sunday dinner.
Pull up to Sunday dinner. You gotta get in contact with him first and get a special invitation though. Mm-hmm. And his food is incredible. It melts in your mouth. It's seasoned perfectly. It's incredible. So yeah, if you need any work done, you looking for a good engineer, you've been struggling trying to find that perfect sound for yourself, this is who you need to hit up. Information's in the description box, you guys. That's the end of this show. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
I appreciate it.
Oh, really? Yeah, really?